Hello, 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 and hello. My name is Charles Smith, and I'm the creator of Real Questions with Real Answers. And on tonight's episode, I'd like to know, why is dating today so difficult? Have you ever thought about why is it that you can date different people and have the same or similar outcome? So many of us are always looking at everybody else as being the potential problem child when it comes down to relationships. But have you ever thought about the fact that you are the only common denominator out of all of the people that you've been dating? Hey, it's a tough thing to ever come to the conclusion that we are not perfect, but we are not. And so we spend all of this time going into different relationships, situationships, just to have the same thing turn over and over and over again. Well, I want to talk about this today, and hopefully you'll be open-minded enough to take a look into that retrospective and introspective mirror to see where the problem may lie. If we're honest, we may even find that there's room for growth, and that we may be able to overcome some of the obstacles that we have when it comes down to dating. And I too have to look into that mirror to see, hey, what is the problem if there is a problem? But guess what? There may not even be a problem at all. You just may have not found the person that's right for you. And it's okay to think that way, as long as it's true. But still, be open-minded enough to look deep enough to see if there probably is or could be something that we're doing. Now, I'm not a guru, but I am observant. And I do pay attention to my own situations as I listen and learn of others. So let's just sit back, relax, and let's talk a little bit, all right? When is it time to do something totally different in your dating life? Now, you're the only person who can ultimately decide whether or not you choose to do something different than what you've done. But if your dating life is not what you like for it to be, then you may want to take a very close look at what it is that you're doing. Now, we can't blame everything on everybody else and not look inwardly to see what it is that we're doing. It's a hard pill to swallow. Hey, but the truth has to come out if you want to see a difference. Now, some people want to do the same old, and expecting a different outcome. And I'm not going to use that as the insanity plea, even though that's what it's saying. But in order for you to see things differently, sometimes you have to do something different. I hear this saying all the time from people. That's not the type of guy, or that's not the type of girl that I normally date. Well, the people that you normally date, it's not giving you the outcome that you want or need. So maybe you should try something different. Maybe you should, attract some different types of personalities into your life or into your space. Because what you're doing right now isn't seeming to work right. Think about it for a minute. We all want to be comfortable. And sometimes comfortable is not good enough. Sometimes being comfortable is almost like dying because you're sitting still. So anything that's sitting still is not progressing forward. That just means you can be tossed to and fro like the wind. Look, take a more proactive stance in your dating life or just the improvement of self if need be. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just trying to get people to think a little bit. It's in your quiet time, Think about what it is that you're doing on the regular that's giving you some below average relationships, friendships, or situationships. Most people don't want to change. It's just like when somebody tells me, hey, this is the way I am and I ain't changing for anybody. Take me or leave me. I say goodbye because if there's no room for growth, then it's death. In a relationship of any type, you constantly have to give of yourself in order for things to mesh, because it's a give and take on both sides. It's not a thing of taking score. I do this and you do that. No, do whatever feels comfortable for your situation. And it's a one-on-one situation, so it's not you and what your friends may think about this person. Look, it's okay to take advice from people, but ultimately you know what you have, and you're the one that have to deal with it. So hopefully you're making wise choices, and this is something that's worthwhile that you're willing to deal with. We all should open up to the possibilities of the impossible when we're dealing with in a dating situation or in life in general. A closed mind and a closed heart, to me, equals death. Because there's no room for growth. There's no room for anything but just the way you feel. And the way you feel may not be good enough. Most people have a false sense of choice. What I mean by that is, we're meeting people on many different platforms now, meaning social media, meaning dating websites, and we think because of all of these people in here who are meeting some of the criteria that we like and want and they look good, that, these are really good catches, but are they really? You're only as good as the very best next profile. Because you talk to people and you're able to hold a conversation for a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. People act like a kid in a candy store. They play with this for a little bit and then they're on to the next one. And then on to the next one. Never really truly putting any quality time into anything or anybody. You see, every relationship is not going to start off instantaneously as love at first sight, or go out on a date and everything is fine from the jump street. It may take some time in some of these relationships to be able to work out some of the kinks to go on further. Too many people want that instant everything. They want people to be perfect. That's not being realistic, isn't it? But this is the way it is this day and time. Then you get the people who are just overly, smothering, from day one. It's like you could be chatting, and if you don't respond back in a minute or two, they take it as a rejection. Man, ooh, scary. But that's the way it is. A lot of times people are not willing to put forth some common sense to say, hey, the person is not available right now, but talk later. It's a scary world we're in when it comes down to this dating stuff. And social media makes people a lot more accessible, but not necessarily that the quality is any better. But I'm not dogging it either. Some very good relationships have been formed from social media interactions and encounters. My thing is, just use common sense, have fun. Don't be so much of a stick in the mud or such a stickler about any and everything, and stop trying to find fault in everybody. Heck, sometimes you need to just look in the mirror and see that that's where the fault is, with yourself. There's hope. I believe that it's possible to happen by any of these means, but we just have to be wise, and we have to be introspective and look at self and to find out, if there's room for growth. In most cases, there is. So many of us desire to be with someone in a loving relationship. But are we truly willing to do what it takes to be in a relationship of such? Until you are able to become vulnerable with your potential, then there is no room for a true loving relationship. Hell, when it boils down to it, some people I don't feel are very lovable at all. I don't think you even have the traits that's needed to make loving you possible. Not trying to dog anyone in any form or fashion, but it's the truth. In your current state, some people are unlovable. And that's something that you ought to look into very deeply. Attitude's bad. Things you want from the person is all out of whack because your choices are bad, your priorities are messed up. You want this person to have all these things going on for him or herself, but you yourself don't have those things going on. It doesn't have to be equal, but you need to be in the same ballpark. Yeah, some of the stories I hear, some of the things I've heard, and some of the things I've seen, it's just unbelievable that people could be that shallow or be that demanding of things that they don't even possess themselves. That's right, they don't even possess them themselves. So, people, be realistic. I don't really like to say if somebody's in somebody's league or whatever the case may be, but in a sense, you get the gist of what I'm saying. You need to deal with that which you can handle, because not everybody can handle everything. It's like what one guy may call a gold digger, another man may call it something totally different. From what some woman may call a bum, hey, it might be somebody else's king. You know, some of it is about finances and social economic type things, and some of it is about degrees. You know, some people make a big deal, oh, I won't date this person unless they have a degree of some type. When in the hell has a degree ever caused anybody to be a better person? I don't think so. You know, displaced, priorities is a terrible thing. But to each his or her own. I say if you live by it, you die by it. In other words, if those things are so important to you, you may wind up not finding those things, and therefore you're left to be single. You're left to be outside of relationships. Life is what we make it to a certain degree. Most of it is about our input and our choices. So what do you choose? You choose to be sensible in finding a mate? Or will you be unrealistic, sitting out there still waiting for your Prince Charming? Think about it. We don't always make the best choices. But I hope that in your quiet time you would think about what it is that you're doing and what you may need to do. Take inventory. Pros and cons. What I can deal with, what I can't deal with. Let me know what you think. My name is Charles Smith, and I am the creator and founder of Real Questions with Real Answers. Get at me. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Share this with as many people as you possibly can. And I look forward to talking with you guys again soon. All right? Good night.